You're listening to The Front Porch Show. Some shows are niche shows, talking about specific topics. Others, shows about nothing. This show is the show about everything. On The Front Porch Show, we'll talk about current events, some news, a little bit of politics, along with a whole lot of life. Welcome to Our Front Porch. 1-402-799-1811 is our message line number. www.thefrontporchshow.com. You've got Tombstone and I with you today. Jeff is missing AWOL. I heard
he's gone to a happier place.
Is it really a happier place?
That makes it sound like we took him outside back and shot him.
I know. Sometimes, never mind.
Not Jeff.
Jeff's gonna listen back and be like, "You guys want me dead? What?"
No, Jeff. We want you to be happy wherever you are.
Whatever happy place.
Even if you're no longer producing. Anyways.
Oh my word!
You get early morning Tombstone today. Apparently,
that one.
I say early. It's not that early.
That went dark real fast.
That did go really dark.
I mean, in our defense, it was a short night for both of us. So
it was. Aaron and I were discussing before we got on various toddler shenanigans, and Aaron, remind me roughly how old your two kids are.
Myron is going on 4 in like another 2 weeks, 3 weeks.
Okay.
And then Trevor's a year and a half.
He's not really a toddler anymore.
No, I mean no.
But Trevor is entering the danger zone.
Oh yeah, and it's bad.
The toddlerhood is always fun because kids are starting to discover their personality, and they're also starting to discover that what they do makes an impact on what the outcome of a given situation is, in terms of crying and throwing a fit. And your struggle as a parent is always to not torture your child, but also not be dictated by their whims, because they don't even know what their whims are because they're 1.5 or 2 years old.
Exactly.
They just don't know. So, and I'm relearning. It seems like every week I'm relearning how my daughter is 2, almost 2.5, and I'm relearning every week. It seems like how much parental input, especially dad input, matters to toddler attitude.
Yeah, man.
Of course, I'm gone all day. The poor kid, I wish I saw her more. I usually only see her about 2 hours a night, and then try to spend as much time as I can on the weekends. And she was having a really hard afternoon yesterday, and Carissa put me on the phone with her at about 4:30. And, she doesn't really know how to talk on the phone. She can listen and, press buttons.
They hear, they know.
She hasn't quite got the concept of conversation yet. But Carissa said after a minute and a half on the phone with me, her attitude did a complete 180.
Yeah.
And it came, much easier to deal with.
It's so true, man, because like they could be having a horrible day. You walk in the room after a long day of work, and everything changes. Yeah. And I don't know if it's that they're just they know the consequence of dad, but it may also be that they just know mom's buttons. Yeah,
I think that's a lot of it. I really do think the buttons thing is a lot of it. I think for my wife, it's very hard because she's at home all day. She's much closer to the situation than I am.
Right.
So when I walk in at the end of the day, it's much easier for me to step back from, I don't have to think about what the next 2 hours are going to be like because I'm in charge in the next 2 hours.
Yeah, no, exactly.
So, and my wife doesn't have to deal with it.
I mean, I find it easier just to lay down the law. I mean, it's like,
exactly.
Boom, no.
I am the law. Not in an unkind way, of course.
Mama does the counting thing.
No counting.
And she'll be like 1, 2,
Is that something she grew up with?
I don't know. I don't have a clue.
There is no counting in our household.
Look, I will acquiesce to the counting on her part.
I'm going to talk to Alyssa about that.
I will acquiesce to the counting on her part. I don't do the counting. I hit 1, and it's over. If I say 1 and there's not movement, it's over. And that's when dad gets mad. And so, yeah, I can't do it.
What I told Carissa is right now our standard for punishment and reaction is this a request that I think is reasonable? for her to understand. Because sometimes I ask her to do something
for
and it's
Johanna,
not clear to
for
me.
Johanna to understand.
Sometimes I ask her to do something and it's not clear that she really knows what's going on.
Yeah.
And it's also, especially late in the day, sometimes she is just completely overwhelmed by toddler emotions. So I might make allowances as long as we get where we're going, which is usually bed. We usually do a really early bedtime.
Right.
So
yeah.
last night bedtime was at 7.
Man, yeah.
So she doesn't take naps.
How long? Oh, she already kicked the nap.
Yeah, because especially with Carissa having the little one, it's too much work trying to nap. She's like me. She doesn't do daytime sleep. Sometimes she doesn't do nighttime sleep.
Man, that's rough, man. So Myron's working on kicking his nap right now, and it may be the worst time of our lives because Trevor will go down for a nap. He has to have a nap. He'll be just issuistic if he doesn't. But Myron, if he's had a particularly active day or a late night the night before, he'll nap. The problem is that when he does that, he doesn't want to sleep the next night. And so we'll catch him up until 10 p.m.
Yeah, we found that Johanna does not do bedtime if she has even like a 45-minute nap.
No kidding.
So she's terrible to deal with between 5 and 7.
Yep.
But she does go to sleep.
Have you been through the don't want to wear clothes phase yet?
She takes her clothes off all the time.
That's Myron.
but it's usually related to. It is usually related to a bathroom event, but not always because we're potty training her.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Sometimes she'll just change clothes just because she can. Oh, yeah. It's hilarious.
Myron has flashed. I'm pretty sure everyone in our church, 700 people. We're in the middle of dinner last night, and he's like, "I gotta go to the bathroom." As he's running out of the room, he drops trow, and I'm like, "Oh man,
that is awesome."
I mean, church comes out of the bathroom, just pants off, and then
oh no,
oh man, small group, yep, oh yeah.
Haven't had that happen yet. She's pretty good about keeping everything on in public.
Yeah, no. Myron has absolutely no shame, and I'm like, her mother's European.
Country boy.
Her mother's European. Yeah, yesterday he wanted to drop trow outside and take a leak outside in front of our guests who were over last night, and I'm like, oh, I mean, I guess that's why we have a deck. That's why we don't have neighbors.
That's right.
But man, I gotta say though, like for all the agony and for all the aggravation, they are kind of fun.
Oh, they're a blast.
Except in the mornings. Myron,
especially between 2 and 4 in the morning.
Myron comes in at 6:30 this morning, trying to whisper and trying to talk to Mama.
Oh no!
And so Alyssa's aunt is up this week. So for those of you who don't know, so our house is on the family farm, and there's another house like an eighth of a mile from us. Maybe not even an eighth of a mile, like 400 yards, right? And Alyssa's aunt comes up from Lincoln every couple weeks and spends the weekend. Myron at 6:30.
This is your favorite aunt on that side, right?
It's my only aunt on that side, so yes, absolutely. And so yeah, she's up, and Myron wants to go down and see her at 6:30 in the morning. And so we tell him no. He starts proceeding to cry and scream, and I'm like, get out. And Trevor's already in my bed, so things are already not doing well.
Things have already devolved.
Things have already devolved greatly.
Man, pitching a fit at 6:30 is not okay.
Then Myron proceeds to go flush the toilet. I still am not sure what he flushed, but he screamed. He screamed in happiness and yelled something about, "Yay, it went down." And so I don't have a clue, man. I don't have a clue what it is.
You'll never
something,
know.
And I'll never know. And
hopefully it wasn't something important. Your toothbrush is still there.
There's a reason, Tombstone, that I put 4-inch pipes into this house.
That's right.
That's right.
You're such a smart man. I actually did clog the pipes in my parents' house when I was about 3.
Oh, man.
I put a toy hammer down the toilet.
Yeah, that'll do it. They have to get the snake out to fish it out.
Little peg hammers. No, I think my dad had to take the toilet off.
Oh, no way.
I think it actually got stuck in the toilet.
Oh, man.
So it wasn't the pipes. It was the toilet itself, yeah.
Right, but that's gnarly, man.
Yeah, he had to take it. I remember one of my earliest memories is my dad sitting in the front yard with a toilet, breaking it apart with a hammer.
That's amazing.
To get it out. I don't know why.
That's amazing.
Probably should have thrown the whole thing away.
Yeah, I think it was just to prove that you had done it. I mean,
he retrieved the hammer. I was not allowed to have it back.
I bet you weren't,
because it was kind of gross.
Real nervous for us when we first moved into this house because we didn't have an upstairs bathroom. We only had the bathroom in the basement. Well, the basement bathroom flows into a pump, which proceeds to grind it and pump it up into the septic tank.
I'm not familiar because it's below. I'm not familiar with that arrangement.
Yeah. So yeah, it's real gnarly situation. But you get stuff sent down there, and you're going to clog your pump. Well, my pump kept getting clogged. Little plastic chunks, and I don't know whether it was children threw them in or they fell in. Like from when I had the lid off and I was working on the pump.
Yeah,
I had to open that pit like 6 times in order to.
You never told me about this.
Tombstone, it was the worst time of my life. It was my own personal hell. It was Tombstone. When you're there's 50 gallons of liquid down in there, and you're like trying to fish this pump out, and you've got to.
How is it sealed when you put it back together?
When you put it back together, you use like a plumber's putty type stuff that seals up the edges. So
it's supposed to be like a permanent seal.
But semi-permanent. Semi-permanent.
If you're going to take it apart again, yes.
Yeah, because you got to take it apart again. So, but it's like it's bolted down to the floor, and because it's just a tank that sits in the concrete.
Right.
And
you
so
need to send me a picture.
I hope I never have to open again. So it hasn't clogged up. It has not clogged up in probably 8 months now. But I got that 1.5-year-old that's coming up, man.
Oh no!
And he's getting into that phase of, hey, there's water in the toilet. Maybe I can float a boat in it or something.
We'll probably sit around and cook some soups and eat bread and desserts and just get all fat and sassy.
We eat ribs and whatnot and listen to salsa music. You see where I'm coming from?
Free ponies for all Americans, one of the overlooked issues in America today.
Just when you think it's going to stop, Tombstone, Twitter strikes again. I have 5 articles now from Twitter sitting up on my screen. It's going to be a Twitter-heavy day for those of you who like to follow Twitter.
That's because Twitter is where the action is.
Twitter is where news is made.
What do you have besides what I sent you just now?
I've got the CDC story. I've got Coach Leach.
Which one about CDC? The cookie dough thing?
Yeah.
Oh,
that's a sensitive topic.
I don't know about Coach Leach, but I'm looking forward to hearing
Coach Leach one is amazing, Tombstone.
Definitely.
I've got this one that we're talking about now. We've got, what is that one? Oh, that's a cool one. Keanu Reeves. And then a bunch of teenagers launch rockets into space.
So we're here today to talk about the Impossible Burger.
What is the Impossible Burger, Tombstone?
The Impossible Burger is it's a vegan burger that uses soy, as far as I know, soy products and clever flavoring to taste. So
let's read through.
Well, I want to make sure we all know what we're talking about. So I believe Burger King has made the Impossible Burger available at some of its restaurants in urban areas.
I'm beyond myself.
And apparently Red Robin has had them. White Castle has had them.
You're a burger joint.
Well, listen, Aaron. Hashtag not all burgers are made of meat. Just saying.
Hashtag not all women have abortion. Not all.
No,
It's the same. It's the same argument, Tombstone. Even men can have abortions too.
It's a burger. A soy burger is just a genderqueer burger that's trying to find itself.
If I knew we weren't going to get nailed for the title of the show, right there would have been the title: Genderqueer Burgers.
No, I don't think that would not attract our target audience.
It would not flow very well.
Anyways, the whole point being, right now there seems to be a full court press in the media to make these kind of burgers more, I don't know, common, normal.
Well, yeah, it's like the demonization of meat.
I mean, that's part of it, but I think it's really part of, I don't know, I think it comes down to a PR blitz. I think there obviously is a political undertone to it that the powers that be, the Bilderberg set, think that meat is bad and they would like to see the population eating less meat. I think there's definitely that dynamic.
Wow.
I mean, without getting all Alex Jones, who we're going to talk about later.
Just went tinfoil, man. That's crazy.
I know, but I mean, like, it's becoming more obvious as you keep seeing these so-called think pieces and PR pushes come up. You're like, there's got to be a concerted effort. I'm not even saying there's a conspiracy. More like, there's a lot of very powerful people with a lot of money who are pretty much on the same page.
Yeah,
let's put it that way.
Well, okay, so why? What is the end goal of this? So they think that it's going to save the environment if they do that, right?
I think that's the thinking. Yes.
I mean,
and what we're about to go through it discusses that aspect.
So I guess it's time. Let's read through the tweet.
So let me ask you this: what can you describe for the audience what monocrop agriculture looks like?
Oh man, like we've basically got it right here. I mean, in Nebraska, we've got three major products in northeast Nebraska. It's corn, beans, and those two get rotated every year.
So there is rotation between those two.
Rotation between the two.
Are there places where the rotation is not happening and they're just growing soy year after year?
Typically not, because that would damage the soil, and the farmers know that.
So would you say the soil is not as healthy as it could be otherwise if we weren't growing just those two?
If we were growing more diverse crops, yes, it would be much better, because then you'd end up having, the stuff would naturally fertilize. I mean, plants are amazing. Plants turn sunlight into energy. Plants turn sunlight into matter, essentially. I mean, when you're planting a plant, you're not pulling all of the matter out of the soil in order to grow that plant.
Right.
They're converting energy. Right, exactly. And so if you grow the right crops,
plants are like what, 95% water, something like that.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah. So yeah, if you're growing, this stuff, and you're returning the waste back to the soil, you're going to replenish the soil after a while. The problem is when you get into this monocrop or two crop, what would they call it? Duo crop or something?
Culture, I don't know. Biculture. I'm not sure.
Yeah, that's good.
This is why I wanted Andrew to come on and talk about this.
Yeah, we got to get him on soon. It will deplete the soil, and so you are using extra fertilizer than what you would need otherwise. They also, every 6 or 7 years, sometimes they'll go to alfalfa. They'll plant some alfalfa,
right?
Which is a legume, very similar to this soybeans, but yet you're putting more back into the soil because the alfalfa has roots that grow 3-4 feet deep, and replenishes and aerates the soil.
Cool.
And so, but most farmers don't do that because if you just hit it with enough fertilizer, it'll grow.
Right.
And so there are aspects to the set of tweets that are correct.
So the guy named A.G. Stover, I don't know his first name, he posted a really fascinating tweet referencing...
His tag is he's a marketing fundamentalist and future CEO of your neighborhood Sovcorp. I
don't know what that means.
I think that's very...
Sovereign corporation. It's kind of dystopian. I'm sure it's tongue-in-cheek.
Probably.
I don't know what a market fundamentalist is. Is that like a hardcore Austrian economics person?
I think this is basically wannabe entrepreneur, but doesn't actually have the ability to do so.
Maybe.
And he's got great aspirations and believes a lot in himself. And that's why he's the future CEO.
So he wrote a great thread about referencing Impossible Foods, which is the company that's making the Impossible Burger. And the tagline is, if you want to know what an environmentally friendly, that's in quotes, soy burger looks like, I will show you. Oh, wait, there's an article.
Is there? Oh, yeah, there is. There is. So
by a different person.
So
though.
keep reading through the tweets. I'm going to go poke in this.
Okay, you do that. So, first thing he talks about is the algal bloom that comes from when you have huge amounts of fertilizer sitting in the soil, and then it gets washed away by rain.
Yes.
So, have you seen that before, Aaron?
Yeah. I mean, algae grows. Yeah, algae grows.
Because the fertilizer doesn't care what it's fertilizing, and so if you wash a ton of fertilizer into a pond or a slow-moving river, or
it's gonna bloom.
Even the ocean, it's gonna bloom. You're gonna have algae explode,
and so
which can harm
so
all
phosphorus,
the wildlife and the fish.
I believe it's phosphorus does tend to encourage the growth of such, and some fertilizers are phosphorus based.
Yeah.
So that there is leaching. There is leaching.
So that alone is detrimental to, ecosystem. Now, I don't know how easy it would be to get away from that. If there's anything,
it's not as bad. It's not as bad as they claim, though. It's not as bad as they claim.
Yeah.
That's the problem. You've got a small issue that is blown totally out of proportion. But that's beside the point.
And then he talks about.
Oh, I guess it says ammonium nitrates, not the phosphorus. So I was wrong on that.
Yeah. And then he talks about the fact that, even if you're not tilling the soil, you're still stripping it bare and having it exposed to the sun and the air, and it's degrading the soil. But really what this boils down to is the fact that...
Hold on.
Yeah.
Hold on. Let me ask you this.
Yeah. This is not my area of expertise, obviously.
What does he propose we do? Just leave it there and do nothing with it?
I think what he's driving at is that if you have to choose between growing plants to turn into fake beef or just growing beef, it's better to just grow beef.
Okay.
I don't think he's saying we should stop growing plants. He's just saying growing more plants, stripping more earth to grow plants to make fake beef is way more harmful than just growing beef.
So I somewhat agree with that. I somewhat agree with his. I love grass-fed beef. But it's not the normal beef. Like when you go to the store and buy beef, it's grain-fed beef.
Right.
And it's
well he says that too. Is that's basically what we're doing right now. So there's no actual, even if you leave the grain-fed, not necessarily grass-fed beef in place, getting rid of actual cows to grow corn to make fake cows is not really a net gain. If you're not actually making the situation worse, you're definitely not making it better.
Yeah, and I don't disagree with him on that standpoint. Yet again, I don't necessarily disagree totally with everything he says. He's just taking it really far, and I don't necessarily think the science is behind what he's saying.
Here's the tagline. So the TLDR for talking to others about Impossible Burger. It's the current day monocropping, herbapesty, fungicide dropping industrial food system for those that are allergic to the industrial food system, which would not be us. Repackaged and sold to you as a revolution in food for the environmentally conscious. And another angle on this is that these foods require huge capital inputs, naturally over time agglomerate toward monopsony, where a few large producers control almost everything. The family
which is very common out here.
We're already on that road now.
Yeah, we're already here.
So,
but I come back to my argument that the reason it's like that is because of government intervention in the economy,
right?
And in the screwing up of property prices and screwing up of the regulations when it comes to farming. It's targeted at these big producers. It's all economies of scale.
Yeah.
We learned about that back in economics class and in high school and college. You
should tweet to him and see if he'll do an interview with us.
Yeah, that's a great idea. I should have done that this week, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Okay, so you you're sitting down to dinner. You find out that this restaurant that you're at, the only burgers they have is soy burgers.
No.
Now it's textured like meat.
No.
It's flavored kind of like meat.
No. I've heard the Impossible Burger actually tastes fine, but I still wouldn't eat it.
I'm not going to touch it. I can't
way.
do it. Do we know what it looks like?
It's the principal thing. I expect it looks like a burger, Aaron.
Do we? Where? I gotta see this.
Look it up.
Impossible Burger. Oh, it kind of does look like a burger. It looks like a processed burger patty. You know, I'm getting sick and tired of the New York Times. They always block me, man. They are having shortages right now, Tombstone.
I know, because everybody's eating them.
Everyone is eating. Why?
I don't know.
Why? Tombstone. It's not a real burger.
It's the soy apocalypse. It's here.
Soy is so disgusting. Do you have tofu, Tombstone?
Never had it. No desire to try it.
Oh, there's nothing worse than getting a spoonful of tofu in your Chinese food. Oh.
She said, "Oh man, the building is on fire." I said, "No, what? I got my 3 kids and we bounced out. We ain't gonna be in no fire, not today."
The fact that they purchased the machine meant somebody had to make the machine. And so when somebody makes a machine, it means there's jobs at the machine making place.
But glad to get out of here with a win. This is a tough place to do it. And, once in a while, a pirate can beat a soldier, you know?
Thank you, Coach Leach. Washington State. Washington State, the Washington State University.
Is that where Coach Leach resides?
Yeah, it's Washington State University. Cougars. The Cougars. They introduced on their Twitter the newest smart device. Yeah. Well, give it a listen.
Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy.
What's that?
It's our new Mike Leach Mini.
Mike Leach Mini? That's adorable.
So basically a Mike Leach head on a Google Mini.
Say it knows everything, just like the real Mike Leach. Hey, Coach Leach, what can we ask you?
Oh, I can answer questions like, who closes the bus door when the driver gets off? Why do overalls have belt loops? Is there a speed of smell? What color of hair do they put on a bald man's driver's license?
Wow, that is a smart device. Hey, Coach Leach, is baldness really caused by too much testosterone?
Guy's bald.
Not really.
There's only one Mike Leach, and he's all ours. Buy your Washington State football tickets today. Go Cougs.
Hey, Coach Leach, should men wear hot pants?
Not really.
Hey, Coach Leach, can guys wear hot pants?
You don't know who you are until you get out of your comfort zone.
What are hot pants in this context?
I don't know. He's wearing a pair of jeans, but she kind of looks back at his jeans and yeah,
that's funny.
Great, absolutely
you don't know
great.
Who you are until you get out of your comfort zone.
I love the fact that Coach Leach owns it, man. He owns the fact that he's got an answer for everything.
I don't think you get that. I don't think I get. I don't know. I don't think you get as far as he has in life without completely owning it.
I absolutely love him. Absolutely love him. I want to stay with Twitter, Tombstone, and jump over to the CDC.
Okay.
They've absolutely dashed
this
our
is
hopes.
The one I sent you, right?
They dashed our hopes upon the rocks when it came to washing our chicken.
Mm-hmm.
Apparently, it was incredibly racist. That they suggested people not wash their chicken. But now they're taking it a step further. I'm not sure which race they're attacking here.
I feel as a white man of a certain age, I feel personally attacked.
But as a pale pasty whitey, I feel brutally attacked.
Not content with slandering people who wash chicken before cooking, the CDC has gone after cookie dough lovers.
That they have.
I feel like of all the culture war things we could talk about this week, this might be the highest potential.
This could absolutely cause a revolution, Tombstone. The end is nigh.
I mean, not that we're used to doing what the CDC says anyways, because we're not.
No,
but
no.
It's good to know where people in power stand on such things.
The CDC tweet says, tempted to have a bite of batter while baking? Raw dough and batter are never safe to eat, even if they don't contain eggs.
I don't understand
that.
If they don't have eggs, then how are they not safe?
No, so the theory is that flour isn't exactly the most sanitary stuff on the face of the planet.
I mean, I guess.
So I have read in the past that people claim that flour can contain like salmonella and stuff. I don't know if that's true. That's what I've heard. But yeah, I don't typically like eating raw cookie dough. I'm not a fan of raw eggs. I'll be honest with you.
No.
But get me some cookie dough ice cream, like some cookie dough Ben and Jerry's.
Mm-hmm.
Dang, man. If I wasn't like trying to watch what I'm eating, I'd nail a pint of that.
Apparently, if you get food poisoning, you don't get sick until, well, salmonella will get you almost right away. But
yeah,
E. coli, well, E. coli can kill you.
I'm scrolling down through the tweets, and this is where Twitter is pure gold. You've got the dog laying there, the sad bulldog, and it says, "You're no fun." Scroll down a little farther. It says, It's the come and take it flag that normally has the cannon, and instead of the cannon, it's the Nestle chocolate chip Toll House cookies.
Yes.
The cookie dough, frozen cookie dough.
Yes.
Oh my gosh, I'm 72 and been doing this all my life. Thank you for this groundbreaking news.
Oh man.
Yes, I just want to say that a 72-year-old person sassing the CDC on Twitter is the kind of person I want to be friends with.
There's no telling. I don't know. I mean,
you've got the Tommy Lee Jones meme.
I guess my question is this what we really want to pay the CDC to do?
My favorite here is Will Ferrell. You sit on a throne of lies. Oh man.
But you know
I agree.
Like,
I agree with you, Tombstone.
Is that what we want to pay the CDC to do? I feel like there are other more important things they can do than policing cookie dough consumption.
Yeah, but Tombstone, doesn't this speak to just the Big Brother, aspect of government? I mean, they're so in everything we do now.
They're paying some social media intern to post these things on Twitter, and some
Tombstone. You really think it's
public health intern? Huh?
I guarantee it's not an intern. It's probably paid $70,000 a year.
It's a full-time employee that's getting paid $70,000 a year.
Stay on 20 years, and all of a sudden you get a full pension.
They have some guy who failed out of med school writing the articles behind the scenes for another $70,000 a year.
That's right. Man.
Oh my goodness.
What? Like I'm pretty food conscious when I'm in the kitchen. Like I try to keep my meat separated. When I'm like last night, we did this amazing thing called raclette, which is
I think I've heard of that.
Yeah, I think you've had it with us. It's where you cook the meat on the stone.
Oh yeah,
we did. Yeah. Awesome food. Love it.
Very good.
Cook the meat on the stone, and then you take your meat and your veggies and stuff, and you kind of put it in a tray underneath and roast cheese over it, and it's really, really good. Like last night cutting the meat, like I had it all separated. You know, I washed the cutting board between products and stuff, and even the veggies. You know, I keep the veggies kind of separated because you honestly you never know. And with food allergies today, you just never know too. I mean, you know, someone may be allergic to mushrooms or something. I don't know, but no, like I'm real food safety conscious in the kitchen. I like everything really clean, and but guys, the raw egg thing, it's just over the top.
Take us out. When we get back, we have a couple of South Carolina stories for y'all. For those of you that are in South Kakalaki or have connections, which is many of you.
South Carolina's nice.
There's a lot of things happening this summer.
People are kind of nice.
Wonderful people.
The stories are real. I love that guitar right there.
Lord, I want to thank you for my smoking hot wife tonight, Lisa.
That was a non-gendered person, Ken, and you just gave it a gender.
I tried this one chili and it set my mouth on fire, and I had to drink a 2-liter of Mountain Dew.
All right, leave this guy alone with his poor constipated poops. We're going to come back and talk about politics. That's what really matters here.
Tombstone, I spent 3.5 years in South Carolina.
Were they happy years?
They were happy years. I met you. I met Jeff. I mean, I met my wife. So that's solid. I mean, ooh, I didn't realize it breaks down there. You hear that? I like it.
Nice.
I like it. Oh, yeah. Some groove going. I like it a lot. There's a special place in my heart for the Palmetto State Tombstone. And I don't know if it's a good place or a dark place.
Do you know what South Carolina was colloquially known before it was known as the Palmetto State?
I do not.
It was known as the Iodine State.
Really?
Yep.
For what purpose? Producers of iodine?
Apparently they used to pull a bunch of iodine out of the ground here.
Interesting. So iodine's a mineral. See, I never knew that.
Yep. And I'm reading from a website here. It's the SC Encyclopedia. In the late 1920s, the South Carolina Natural Resources Commission began a public relations campaign to advertise the high iodine levels found in fruits and vegetables grown in the state. Even South Carolina milk was promoted as containing extraordinarily high levels of iodine. I don't know what the health benefit of iodine is. True? I assume there's some.
Well, iodine prevents like radiation poisoning because you pop iodine pills for that, right?
It is. Apparently it helps with various
pituitary
ailments.
Gland, I think. Pituitary?
Yeah.
Thyroid gland.
Yeah,
thyroid
sounds
gland.
right. That sounds right.
Thyroid glands.
The campaign placed the motto iodine on South Carolina automobile license plates in 1930 and then expanded the phrase in subsequent years to the iodine state and the iodine products state. Columbia radio station WIS took its call letters to promote the wonderful iodine state. I never knew that.
Well,
that is fascinating.
Welcome to the Front Porch Show.
Even
now you know.
This tops everything. Even low country moonshiners around Hellhole Swamp jumped on the iodine bandwagon, advertising their brand of liquid corn. It's a great phrase with the slogan, "Not a goiter in a gallon."
Hold on. There's a place in South Carolina named Hell Swamp.
Hellhole Swamp.
Hellhole Swamp.
I have no idea where it is. It's down in the low country somewhere.
We have to find this place.
I'll tell you where it is. Hang on. Hellhole Swamp. It's in Berkeley County, so it's down there near Charleston.
Are you serious? That's amazing.
Yep.
That is absolutely amazing.
The South, especially the Southeast, we have so many creative place names. It's insane.
Like what? Give me some examples. I need to know this.
Hang on. I saw a mountain the other day. What was it called? It was like Ugly Girl Mountain or something like that.
Oh man!
But like there, you just see, and they're very descriptive.
Oh well, yeah, that is.
So David Hackett Fisher in his book Albion Seed talks about this, and he said he quotes a number of place names that are actually I can't say on the radio.
Oh man.
Yes. So
do you remember the Grand Tour episode when they were, I think it was Grand Tour episode when they were traveling through Europe to all the questionable place names?
Yes. In fact, I have a friend who was in the army in Germany, and he had actually told me about those places, which he thought was hilarious.
Oh, without a doubt. I mean, I'm just saying, that sixth grade humor really gets to me every once in a while.
Yeah. There was one. There was a town called Kissing, and then there's another town that I'm not going to say the name of because there's no way to say it on the radio. And there's another town called Wedding, and they were all close by together. So I don't know if you can extrapolate.
Oh, that one. Yes, that one.
So they're all right there. Anyways, audience, I'm sorry if we left you in the dark. Aaron, what were we going to talk about? We're going to talk about Valhalla.
We were going to talk about Valhalla. Or is it Valhalla or Valhalla?
They don't say it with a V. It's. I know if you pronounced it in German, it would be a V.
That's the German. That's the German. Influence out here in Nebraska. It would be Valhalla out here.
Yeah, that would be the right way to say it, but that's not how to say it.
What a beautiful place of South Carolina, though.
It's a wonderful place.
That is. It's northwest. South Carolina, up near the mountains, right? I mean, it's absolutely beautiful area.
So
very hick.
I remember the reason, be nice. The reason it's called Valhalla is because a bunch of Germans settled there, and I believe it was because it was to build the tunnels there, which they never finished. So for those of you not familiar, so in the 1850s. There was a company that was trying to build a railroad from Charleston to Chattanooga.
No kidding.
Yeah, which would have been an amazing feat if they'd done it, but I don't think they knew how much money it was going to take.
There's an awful lot of crazy mountains there. Like the Appalachian Mountains there are just incredible.
Yeah, I mean they're not very high. They're quite steep.
Right, the gorges between those mountains. Of course, this is before
modern. This is before modern earth moving equipment and all that stuff.
Man.
And hang on, I'm pulling up a link here real quick. So they were going to build this railroad, and it required a number of tunnels. And they actually started 3 tunnels. They finished 2 of them, the first 2, and then the third, they were in the process of blasting their way through a lot of rock, using, of course, black powder, because this is before the invention of dynamite, which is way more efficient. And they ran out of money, and then the war started, and then I don't know if they ran out of money or the money was just not available.
Right.
So, but they basically stopped working on it in 1861. So, but I believe there are a bunch of German immigrants that came to work on it, and there are a bunch of Irish immigrants that came to work on it.
So, what are the tunnels used for now? Are they used for anything?
So, 2 of them are mostly caved in.
Okay.
You can walk in them. And they're stable, but I don't know if it's really recommended. And then the other one is very, very solid. It's it's high enough to get a train car through.
Yeah.
And it's bedrock. It's not dirt.
No kidding.
And then you can walk about 150 yards back in there.
Yeah.
And there's no lights or anything. And there's I believe Clemson has some sort of cheese experiment thing in the very back. There's like a cage.
That's awesome.
There's a cage. There's like a steel cage. They have it locked up. You can walk almost the whole way back. It's really cool.
That's awesome.
And depending on the year, it's really damp because the water just comes right down through the rock, and it's like a rain ecosystem effect on the inside of the tunnel.
The hazard of bedrock. Yeah, that's incredible. Yeah. No kidding. That's cool.
And it's very cool in there. So even on a hot summer day.
So what happened in Valhalla?
So this
South
week,
Carolina.
a lady was pulled over on North Main Street in Valhalla driving a toy truck, one of those little toy battery-powered trucks that kids drive.
Yeah, Power Wheels.
And she was arrested for driving under the influence in a toy truck.
That's amazing.
I'm going to be honest with you. I'm not sure that charge is going to hold up in court.
So question for you on that. I mean,
yeah.
You hear people pulled over on their lawnmowers.
Yes.
Is that any different?
Has anyone ever actually paid a fine for driving on or gone to jail for DUI on a lawnmower? I don't know. I don't know. I'm genuinely ignorant. It just seems a little bit over the top for me.
Yeah, I mean,
she's really more of a danger to herself than anybody else.
YouTube is full of YouTube and everything else is full of.
Steve, the DUI guy, doesn't count. Those are fake.
Oh, those are all fake,
but they're hilarious. And they're
yeah. So Minnesota, lawnmower is classified as a motor vehicle. Therefore,
okay. So that actually makes sense though, that a lawnmower would have an official designation.
So if it's in most cases, if it is not self-propelled device.
Wait. I found an article that's newer than the one I sent you.
Okay.
She was not charged with DUI.
She wasn't charged with DUI. Interesting. Okay, well that's good.
Or at least they dropped it. Maybe.
Dropped the charge. Sure. So apparently there's something in South Carolina law. The fact that though she was pulled over, cop car sent out to pull over a Power Wheels car. Just we've got video here from
I'm honestly
Channel
impressed
4
that she got a mile and a
WYFF.
half. She got a mile from home before they pulled her over.
That's a long distance. My boys have one of those cars.
Yeah.
And
I mean, how good is the charge on those bad boys?
It's not that good. Ours is a cheap Chinese knockoff called like Happy Child or something.
Did you get it off Alibaba?
I think my mother-in-law ordered it off Amazon or something.
Oh no.
So yeah, it's a questionable vehicular device. Like the other day, somehow they had spun the steering wheel too much and they snapped all the cables inside the steering wheel.
So it looks like they got her on public intoxication, not
okay.
DUI.
That makes sense.
Yeah,
but man,
I'll be honest with you. I feel very sorry for this lady because I mean, that's not something you do if things are going well in your life.
Is anyone wondering where she was headed, though? Probably the liquor store.
I was going to say the liquor store.
She certainly wasn't going to church. I mean,
no. I honestly, I hate, like I said, this is not something you do if things are going well in your life. So I hope she gets it. I hope she gets it figured out.
I don't know, she looks like she's standing there pretty fine, though.
Yeah.
Like the video keeps looping on me, and I'm seeing her here. Tombstone, I want to bounce down to Florida.
Yes. Our second favorite place.
This is an absolute crazy story.
Have I seen this one? I feel like I haven't seen this one.
This
is the motorcycle.
Yeah, this is the motorcycle guy.
Oh, that's so sad.
Near Ormond Beach.
Yeah.
He's driving down Interstate 95, right? Main highway that goes down the eastern seaboard of the country. He was struck by lightning as he's riding his motorcycle. 45-year-old Benjamin Austin Lee of Charlotte, North Carolina, had internal injuries that caused bleeding in his skull, burns on his face, chest, legs, and rib fractures. But those rib fractures were probably caused by the resuscitation efforts. That is absolutely incredible. Have you heard of anything like this?
Never have. I mean, I don't know if they mentioned in the article, but there have been, I don't know how long they've been tracking this, but there have been a handful of motorcycle lightning strikes since like 2006.
Yeah, it looks like 11 of them.
Which is not a lot, really. I don't know how often lightning hits cars, but the difference in a car is you're not the highest point in the car. The car is the highest point, and the lightning can go around you.
Right, the common misconception is that the car is insulated because the tires.
It's
but it's actually the cage.
But it's not grounded. What you want is grounding.
But it's the cage effect of the car around you, the metal cage.
Right. You're probably not touching anything metal inside the car.
But even if you are, it's probably not going to.
Not enough to get you.
Because electricity takes the path of least resistance, very much like water.
Right.
And so, yeah, it's gonna avoid you. 11 deaths. It looks like three of them are from three of these deaths are from New Mexico. one from Kansas. They're even tracking the days of the week. Most of them are on Saturdays and Sundays.
So I would be curious to know if he was in an area where there's lots of trees, but maybe in Florida he wasn't.
There are no trees in Florida, Tombstone.
Oh, yes, there are.
It's an absolute barren wasteland,
in North
Tombstone.
Florida, there are.
Where is that?
I don't know.
Ormond Beach. I think that's down near. I think that's down near Daytona Beach.
But what are the odds that?
Yeah, it's just north of Daytona
Beach. What are the odds that a
Beach.
motorcycle would be the highest thing to hit?
It's Florida, Tombstone. There's no hills. There's no trees. There's no nothing.
True. There's buildings, so.
Yeah, but yeah.
And I also
that's a good
wonder,
question.
Yeah, I don't know. That's really, really sad story. I mean, I hope he never knew what hit him. That would suck.
That would be so disturbing. So my grandmother tells this story, my step grandma tells this story of how when she was, I think, in her 20s or so, they were sitting there in their living room. She had just gotten off the phone. I guess hung up the phone. Mm-hmm. And like there was a lightning storm and everything and like crazy stuff, and all of a sudden the lightning strikes what she claimed was the house, and no reason to not believe her, and a ball of lightning comes out of the telephone.
Mm-hmm.
And rolls across the floor and out the door.
Whoa.
Yeah, man.
I've heard some crazy stories.
I mean,
like
there's a thing called ball lightning, so it's not unheard of.
Yeah.
But yeah, that just wild. And she's like, yeah, I was just on the phone just a couple seconds before.
Yeah, I mean, people have been killed on the phone.
Yeah, I mean,
and it isn't actually. I've heard of people actually before the phone infrastructure changed in a lot of places in the country. You know, all the phone ringing was a lot of current. I shouldn't say a lot of current, but some current coming across the phone line, making the phone ring. So
Yeah.
a lightning strike actually could make the phone ring. You could then pick it up.
Oh man!
And it would discharge into you. Now I don't know. That's one of those things that seems technically possible, but not likely.
It seems like a Mythbusters.
But I have seen pictures of melted phone receivers from lightning. So, you know, if you hit someone with enough current, sometimes weird things happen.
Did I ever show you the picture of our melted electric fencer?
No.
So we had, when we were living in Vermont, we had pigs out in the backyard, and we had probably an acre and a half, 2 acres of 2 acres of fence up with our friend Andrew, and we kept all our pigs in the pasture. Well, lightning strikes one night, hits the fence somewhere.
Ooh.
And not sure where it hit, but the box, the electric fence box, like real expensive box, hanging up on a tree. We had it, enclosed in a box, and the wires melted through the box.
Ooh. Just
instantaneous melting through. And it sliced the box in parts.
That's pretty hot.
It was, I can't even imagine. The wire must have been glowing the entire distance.
How close was this to the house?
Oh, this was probably 30 feet. The box was from the house.
Wow.
Which, I mean, the lightning could have hit anywhere. It could have hit a tree along the fence line or something.
Right.
But it picked the fence because the fence is grounded out.
Right.
But yeah, it totally toasted that box, man.
Man,
I'm gonna see if I can find pictures and post it up on the social media pages, because it was absolutely incredible. Does this give you any pause, Tombstone, for riding your motorcycle?
No.
Don't care?
Because when your time is up, your time is up. That's not something you could prevent.
Go out big or go home, right?
That's right.
My favorite word is the word.
We got an issue in America. Too many good docs are getting out of business. Too many OBGYNs aren't able to practice their love with women all across this country.
up, you creep.
And Bernie Sanders might run. Apparently, some folks really want to see a pot-smoking socialist in the White House. We could get a third Obama term after all.
Such a clown show, Tombstone. Such a wild circus.
Sorry, there's something on my fence and I'm trying to figure out what it is.
Yeah, I'm looking at you just staring off into the distance.
I'm looking right past the camera. I don't know if it was a bird or a cat.
You looked like you were whoa. You can't tell if it's a bird or a cat out on your fence.
It's behind a bunch of bushes, so
Okay. If it's a bird cat, it's
I'm
pretty
going
big.
with cat. I'm going with cat on that one.
You got roaming cats in your neighborhood?
Yeah, I have roaming cats in my backyard.
That's not cool, man.
No, I think they're keeping the snakes away, so.
Well, that's a good thing. I mean, yeah.
We have a lot of snakes. Anyways, what are we talking about?
Wow. So, Huckabee Sanders is out at the White House.
Sarah Huckabee
I've got to ask you this question, Tombstone, and I think we've talked about this before. Does Sarah Huckabee Sanders actually go by Huckabee Sanders?
That seems to be her professional moniker.
Is it?
Because
I don't know if I've actually seen that on official White House releases.
I never see her name without the middle name.
Okay.
Ever.
I always see it on the media as Huckabee Sanders, and it makes me think that they're trying to draw comparisons to her father.
Maybe. That would not surprise me, but...
Which I honestly, I was never a fan of the Huck. He seemed very...
Me neither,
pokey.
but he did play a set with Metallica last week, so...
and with Brian Head Welch from Korn.
That's what I'm sorry.
Okay, yeah. I was like, what in the world? That was wild.
Okay, sorry.
Little bit two very different personas right there. I mean, you've got dreadlocked Welch there, which I don't know if it's going to happen because we're not big time enough. But we've been working on trying to get Welch on the show.
Really?
Yes. He has a new documentary out with his daughter talking about his life in Korn, the heavy metal rock band, and to his realization that he needed a savior, to his profession of faith, to his getting involved in church, and then becoming the father that he should be. And yeah, I mean, it's a great story. I heard him preach a couple years ago, and I walked in with a lot of misconceived notions, thinking that this guy was going to be an absolute, loon. Mm-hmm. And dude, his story is incredible.
Huckabee looks like, I don't know. He looks like every dad I've ever known.
Yes.
It's kind of hilarious.
Huckabee may be America's dad. He took the place from he took the place from Cliff Huxtable, who's now serving time in prison.
Oh my! I don't know if that's a mantle.
One Huck for another Huck.
I don't know if you're looking at the same photo I'm looking at. I'm going to send it to you here in just a second.
I like it.
It's an amazing photo.
I will
open that. Scroll down a little bit.
It's simply amazing. Oh my goodness! So he put back on the weight he lost.
And Welch refers to him as the Gov.
The Gov. I love it, man.
I'm just like,
it's so cool.
It's kind of cool. It's hilarious.
If we could get away with it for copyright reasons,
I'm glad people could be happy. That makes me happy.
If we could get away with it for copyright reasons, I would play this, but I can't because it's Korn's Blind. But that's just wild. Anyway, so Tombstone, just to wrap up that little vignette I was giving on Brian Welch, he rejoined Korn, and I got real nervous for him. Right? It turns out that the bassist, it turns out the lead singer also got saved during the whole process because of Welch's influence, and so yeah, I mean they're still touring with Korn, but it's a very different band than it used to be.
Yeah.
So props to them. It's amazing what a life change can do. But bouncing to the Gov's daughter, she's out.
She's gone.
She has left the White House.
So we have been asked by the White House here at the Front Porch Show to suggest a replacement for Sarah Huckabee Sanders, take on this very important job of how shall we say, arranging the truth for Donald Trump.
There is only one person who can hold that mantle, who can take that mantle and wear it. Wear it very amazing.
Hang on. I need a fanfare.
And
who is it?
Well, I was still going through
the rights of frogs and lizard people everywhere.
I was going to keep going with, with the montage of who this man was. There isn't enough tin foil in the U.S. to.
But he's very interested in the welfare of frogs.
He is, and the genders of the frogs as well, and their leanings.
We don't want any transsexual frogs.
No. And apparently is making a lot of money from Vigorous Male or whatever he's pushing now.
Male Vitality.
But
there
you go.
Is, with all his other engagements, does Alex Jones have time to be Donald Trump's press person?
I think Alex Jones would give it all up for Trump.
You think he would do it?
He would drop if Trump asked him. He has drank so much of the Trump Kool-Aid, he would be in. Absolutely, 100%, no doubt. I don't understand his infatuation with Trump.
I don't understand your infatuation with Alex Jones.
I think he's hilarious, Tombstone. He's just a riot. He's just a riot.
Okay, so all right, so we got Alex Jones out there.
So
give me 2 other suggestions, and I'll give you my 3 suggestions.
Man. I don't know.
They can be serious or they can be funny. I don't care.
Let's see. I can't really think of anyone who could. Avenatti?
I don't think he would take the job. It's got to be somebody that would actually take the job.
Trump pardons Avenatti and then spins it all in Trump's favor.
That's crazy, but not the craziest.
It would be the most amazing 4D chess I've ever seen.
That would be actual 4D chess.
Yes, it would.
That would be actual 4D chess, not like what passes for 4D chess in this desiccated republic.
I'd be willing to go with. Okay, here's one. I want that kid who takes on the Hurricanes from Florida Man.
The guy with the hair.
Yeah, the guy with the hair and the heavy metal. I just wanted to walk up to the.
Give me one serious pick though.
I don't think there are any serious picks.
You're hopeless.
What are your thoughts? Who?
I was gonna say it's a semi-serious pick. I would say Ann Coulter.
Yeah, but she's not gonna take the job. She hates Trump now.
I think she would take it just for spite.
He's not building the wall. She hates him.
I know, but I think she would still take it just to be there and be able to.
She would destroy him.
Maybe that's what he needs.
Here's a pick that'll never happen, but he's got enough. He's brown nosed Trump enough to where I think it would work. Sean Hannity.
No. Sean Hannity is already serving as Trump's press secretary.
I know. That's what I'm saying. So why not just give him the official title?
I know. I mean, the problem is he'd probably have to take a pay cut.
Well, do you think it matters to him? I mean, he's already got, the Westchester houses and mansions and stuff. What about Eric Bolling, formerly of the Five on Fox?
I don't even know who he is.
Should I know
who he is?
Yeah, you should. Former minor league baseball player, I think. He now political pundit, rich guy. He did Wall Street for a while.
Okay. I actually do have a good semi-serious pick. Mike Rowe.
Oh. Mike Rowe wouldn't do it. He doesn't like politics.
He probably wouldn't do it, but he would be amazing if he did.
I would just love the stories.
It would be great.
I know.
It would be the most entertaining press conferences of all time.
Yeah, because he'll take absolutely no baloney from the people.
He won't take any questions except by Facebook submission.
Okay, how did you like Sarah Sanders? Like
I'm ambivalent. Okay. I think she took a lot of hate. I think it's been probably a very difficult job for her.
I always got really antsy because she was so trite with the people, like so curt with them.
They deserved it though.
I don't disagree with you in a way, but I think the White House should be the quote unquote bigger man and set the tone. I I understand what you're saying.
I don't really disagree with you necessarily. I think we're in unprecedented times, and it calls for an unprecedented stance. Never before has the press so completely set themselves prejudiciously, and this is very important, right? They set themselves prejudiciously against Donald Trump. So Sarah Huckabee Sanders was out there to be the face of the White House, and it was a very stony, angry face.
It was.
But I think they earned every look of it.
One of the press secretaries that always has stood out to me that I've always really liked was Tony Snow.
Tony Snow, yep.
He was a good guy. I enjoyed him. He always was very factual, very,
I don't know. I don't know if you remember back in the Bush days, the bad old days, the liberals said, the press said incredibly nasty things about George W. Bush.
Oh, yeah.
And he never punched back.
Yeah.
And I think, obviously Trump is not George W. Bush, but Trump was elected because he's not George W. Bush and because he does punch back and punches back pretty hard, not always effectually, but hard.
I definitely think this White House is a direct response of what we're dealing with as a country. But I would also argue that it is the press's job to punch.
I mean,
but the question is, where are they taking cheap shots or not? And
I mean, they're not.
There's an awful lot of cheap shots.
The press is not acting. Okay, so if the press, as part of the civil discourse, which is not really civil, in this country has failed to do their jobs, they're no longer due the respect that they were due even 30 years ago. I agree. They were terrible then too.
Well, so I think it has to be prefaced by the news media is incredibly biased. Whether you go Fox, whether you go CNN, whether you go MSNBC, it's biased.
All Trump has done is tell us what the media does, and then the media has obliged him by doing exactly what he's accused them of.
Yeah,
and it's been that way ever since 2016. And guess what? Trump's going to get reelected, and the next 8 years are going to be exactly like this.
Next 4 years, 5 years, 6 years,
after day after day.
do you? I'm having doubts right now, Tombstone.
What kind of doubts?
I'm having doubts that he's actually going to get elected again.
I have very little doubt that he's going to be elected.
Really?
Because all the Democrats have to do is not be crazy, and they're completely incapable of not being crazy.
Yeah, but if they pick Biden,
I don't think Biden can take Trump down.
You don't think so?
No, I think even though he's leading the polls, Biden. Trump can out Biden.
Okay.
Nobody can out Trump.
I'm
not sure Biden's going to make it all the way to the finish line. Have you seen the picture going around of him making an angry face at a woman?
I didn't.
Something she said.
I didn't. You think they're going to throw him under the bus? I honestly,
people have been trying to throw Joe Biden under the bus every single day since he announced. Whether they'll succeed remains to be seen. But there's a lot of Democrats and progressives that are trying very, very hard to get rid of Biden.
Yeah, look, there's 20 of them trying.
Yeah. Well, I know, but I feel like the parts of the establishment, especially the intersectional establishment, are trying really hard to get rid of him. Because he's antithetical to so much of what the hard left wants.
Yeah. Okay.
So we'll see.
What about this? What about this theory on press secretary for the White House?
Oh no.
What if there is none?
It's just Trump tweeting.
Yes. No press secretary.
That's functionally 50% of what we have now.
I know.
It's not crazy.
Yeah, I know. It's. I want to bounce real quick to an article that was tossed to me by one of our listeners this week. And this was CNN.
This is CNN.
This is CNN. I've got my Walter Cronkite voice on. I think I should do that every once in a while.
No, please.
Yes,
don't.
I'm going to go all Walter Cronkite. The question is whether or not that sounds as good to you as it sounds as good to me. Because
probably not.
If it sounds as good as it says to me, I'm all in. This is an article from back in April, and it alleges that Sarah Sanders admitted to federal investigators that she provided false or baseless information to the media on Comey's dismissal. She said that it was a slip of the tongue when she told media that countless members of the FBI had lost faith in Comey. I thought that was interesting.
I'm making a face at Aaron right now.
Yeah, you are. You are. It's the Tombstone face. It's the whatever.
It's not a whatever. It's just I feel like there's a lot of fudge room in there because, like, what does a slip of the tongue really mean? Like somebody told her, and she repeated it without having any actual evidence, and found out later it wasn't true.
Which isn't.
Did she make it up out of thin air? It's just not clear.
Isn't that the case though? In a lot of the political dramas portray that a lot, where they keep the press secretary in the dark in order to.
Yeah.
Because the press media,
it would not surprise. First of all,
press secretary is the face of the White House.
Let me tell you this. This is an FBI interview, right? So you don't want to lie to the FBI, because we've already seen what happens when you lie to the FBI, or when the FBI is able to say that you lied to them. See also General Flynn. It is entirely possible that somebody in an interview put Sarah Huckabee Sanders on the spot and said, "Do you know for a fact that the FBI was saying what was the exact phrasing?
It was that countless members of the FBI had lost faith in Comey."
Yeah, it's entirely possible that she, chose to repudiate her previous statement instead of trying to prove it.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it's not funny, but it's like at the bottom of the list of all the potentially hinky things that have come out of the Mueller report.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Which I could go on and on about things the Mueller report, things that are not in the Mueller report.
Probably should be.
That should be. Yeah.
I don't know. So, it's interesting. Yet again, the White House. What's going to happen? Who knows? I mean, it's like we're just rolling dice.
We are. For better, for worse.
Now, some of you might think I've been busy writing my memoirs. I'm not concerned about my memoirs. I'm concerned about my resume. Here's what I've got so far. Career objective, to stay president. But being realistic, I would consider an executive position with another country. Of course, I'd prefer to stay within the G8. I've been getting a lot of tips on how to write it, mostly from my staff. They really seem to be up on this stuff. They tell me I have to use the active voice with a resume. Things like commanded U.S. Armed Forces, ordered airstrikes, served 3 terms as president. Everybody embellishes a little. Designed, built, and painted bridge to 21st century. Supervised vice president's invention of the internet.
Thank you, Bill. Appreciate that. Every time.
What were we doing here? And I forgot.
We had some major technical issues of internet crashing between segments there. I wanted to bounce. You sent a story out of Simpsonville, South Carolina. Yes.
We already talked about that one.
No, we didn't. We didn't talk about it on the air.
The guy who was shot at his house?
Yeah, we didn't talk about that on the air.
Oh, I must have imagined it.
No, yeah, we talked about it in the break.
I'm going to stop.
Not on the air. It's okay. It's okay. Tell me about this story since you already talked about it.
Sure. So a guy had an alarm system hooked up to, I think, Greenville County Sheriff's Office. And yeah, it was Greenville County. And so the deputy showed up. The deputy says that when he knocked on the door, the homeowner opened the door and pointed a gun at him. So he shot him. And that's pretty much all we know. The guy is alive, fortunately. He's not dead. He does not seem to be in tremendous distress. So, and it looks like the deputy... So there's a picture of the front door. This is actually quite helpful. Thank you, Greenville News, for actually including some helpful information, despite the cops not providing any helpful information. The two bullet holes are in the glass to the side of the door, not the door itself, which tells me the door was probably not opened.
Interesting.
Which okay, so I'm going to read the text because I'm just
please.
When the first deputy arrived on the scene.
What site are you getting this from? Just so we can cite the source.
It's GreenvilleOnline.com.
Okay, beautiful.
Greenville News. When the deputy arrived on the scene, he went to the door of the home and was met by the homeowner, who pointed a handgun directly at the deputy. The deputy then fired his weapon, hitting the homeowner at least one time. Guys,
okay.
I don't know about this one. I don't understand.
Logistically, that seems a little odd if the shots are in the window.
If the shots are in the window, I'm not sure it all adds up. I'm just going to be honest with you.
Was it that he was hiding like behind the window and kind of opened the door a little bit?
No, it looks like he was just looking out the window to see who was there. That's what it looks like.
Okay.
Did you want me to send you a link?
Yeah, send me a link. I want to see the window.
You may not have seen this. You can describe it for the audience better than I can. There you go.
Okay. Taking a look at it here. Doing my expert front porch show analysis on the door. Oh man.
Yeah.
Oh, this is no good.
Doesn't that seem weird to you?
Okay, guys. So this is your standard front door with your main front door, no glass in the front door except for the storm door over the outside. You've got your two long panes of glass on the outside.
Yep.
I guarantee what happened is the guy walked to the door after the doorbell rang. He had a firearm because it was probably late, right?
It was just before midnight.
Guy hears someone at the door. The cops don't always announce when they show up, folks. A lot of times they'll poke around the property first and then knock on the door. So he may very well have seen someone outside his house poking around and then came up to the door. He arrives at the door with a handgun or a rifle. I don't know what it is.
Probably a handgun.
The deputy sees this guy in the house with the gun after getting sent out to a panic alarm. And so the deputy shoots through the glass at the guy.
Really, what everything hinges upon whether or not the guy actually pointed the gun at the deputy.
Yeah.
I would even entertain the possibility he may not have even been able to see the deputy very well.
It's going to be a he said, she said situation.
Yeah.
And there's no way there's going to be any proof unless someone's got a Ring doorbell.
Yeah.
Which there's not one on the side of the house.
No. I don't know if body cam would be helpful even if the cop was wearing one.
So here's a question for you, Tombstone. This brings to light a more, I think, more... This situation isn't rare. An easy solution, some folks would tell us, is that homeowners shouldn't own guns.
Who says that?
There's some people out there that say that. You know, if it weren't for the canoe accident, I probably would. I probably would own guns. No, so like we're running into these issues frequently where non-LEOs are carrying firearms and LEOs are on edge and shooting people.
This is not even though this is not something that should even be honestly not necessarily stressful, but it should not be difficult to negotiate. Like,
no,
if you're in Greenville County, okay,
yeah,
you knock on someone's door, there is a much better than even odds they're going to be holding a weapon when they come to the door.
Right.
If someone knocked on my door at 10 to 12, I'd be holding a weapon. No question.
I hear you. I agree.
So
I agree.
I feel like as a cop, you have to expect this and negotiate it. So, like I said, there is very possible there's other mitigating information. I'm not prepared to pass judgment.
Thank God that the guy wasn't killed. Thank God the guy wasn't killed. That 2 shots, it looks like, 2 shots right to the chest area, where the holes in the window are. I mean,
I think this is an argument for wearing body armor to bed.
Tombstone.
Just saying.
It's going to leave it. You mentioned a story out of North Carolina, and I don't have the article. Yeah. This was a woman who was carrying legally, but shot herself.
Yeah, so this is honestly the most. It's a terribly, terribly tragic story. A lady who was a teacher at a North Carolina school, Charlotte area school, shot herself with a gun that was in her purse, and this happened while she was at a Ruby Tuesday. And this was in the State magazine.
It's okay. Your
South
wife's
Carolina's
just hanging laundry out on the line. It's kind of awesome. Got the kids out with her. Very
family
front
time.
porch-esque. Aw. That's awesome.
If you're able to hear
That's
her or
awesome.
not.
Yes, we are. That's
so
awesome.
anyways, so the
it's okay. It's okay, Tombstone. It's fine.
So this lady had a gun in her purse, which, and there's no, I don't know if it was a specially made purse that has a holster in it, because they do make purses that have holsters, which,
yes,
from what I understand, work fine.
Right.
But there's no. Can you hear that too?
No, keep going. You're fine.
Okay.
You're fine. Tombstone, you're fine. Don't worry about it.
Stressing out here.
Don't stress.
And while she was apparently digging in her purse, the gun, she pulled the trigger and shot herself.
Oh man,
which should never ever happen.
No.
Did
she pass away? Did she die?
Yeah, she died.
No way.
She died before they got her to the hospital.
Wow.
I obviously do not wish to speak ill of the dead, folks.
No.
You cannot have, if you're going to carry a gun off body, which is what this is, which I don't recommend. I think the gun should be on your body where you can control it, and that way it's not moving around. It's not unsecure. It's on your body and a holster that covers the trigger. If you're going to carry off body, you got to carry with something that completely covers the weapon and keeps it safe and secure. And if you have a purse, get a purse holster thingy where the gun is a completely separate compartment from everything else. It's what I hate this, because she took a step to protect herself, but she didn't do it the right way, and she was a danger to herself and people around her, and her family's paying the price. I mean, she paid the price.
I think it speaks to a fundamental lack of training on the wider.
I would say so. I think there is a very, unfortunately, and for a lot of people that conceal carry, there is kind of a casual attitude, and we need to, as gun owners, we need to work really, really hard to combat that.
Well, we have to. We as gun owners have to change that culture.
Yeah.
You know, I am, and I know you are. We are avid proponents of the Second Amendment in all shapes, sizes, forms, and types of weaponry. And
all sizes.
Hashtag nukes for all. I'm just kidding.
Hashtag McNukes.
And we don't believe in restricting the use or carrying of firearms in any form or fashion. However, training, folks, is so critical.
And equipment. Don't cheap out.
Yes, right. You shouldn't be like me and carry a
you do not
$200
need to be carrying a $500 gun and a $20 holster.
Yeah. I was going to make fun of my LCP, but I actually love that firearm, and it works very well.
You don't need to be carrying a $30 gun and a $20 holster.
It's not a high point.
It's not a high point. I would never carry one, but at least it's not a high point.
No.
Well, I say that just because it's too small.
Training just can't be avoided. You have to train.
Yep.
You need to get out there with that firearm. You need to manipulate it. You need to be making sure that not only can you hit the target, but you also can handle it properly.
Yeah.
You know, that's where things happen. And handling it is where things happen.
I think she had an M&P shield.
Okay, so I took a course probably 6-8 months ago. Lots and lots of M&P shields out there.
Oh yeah,
people love those little M&P shields now. And man, Tombstone, I want to bring you back to Omaha, Nebraska.
Yes.
Interesting article out of Omaha, Nebraska. I don't think I sent this.
Which is not the same as Kansas City.
Not the same. Not to be confused with Kansas City, Tombstone. This is in the Omaha.com.
Okay, I'm going to tell you, I've been specifically avoiding this story, and I resent that you're making me talk about it.
What's that?
Because it's so dumb,
ignorant.
that I don't even want to think about it.
There are multiple things in this story that we have to pick out, okay?
All right.
Because it's just absolute ridiculousness. This was Ask Amy. Amy is a syndicated columnist.
The reason I don't interact with stuff like this is because this represents what I believe is it's an irreconcilable difference of really anthropology, how you think about people.
So I'm not sure where Amy Dickinson is from. She's the Ask Amy person here, but she is syndicated columnist. So odds are this story did not come out of Omaha itself, but it was on Omaha.com.
Nebraska or Massachusetts or some godforsaken Yankee location.
It wouldn't be Nebraska because Nebraska is not a Yankee location, Tombstone.
It's not. Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
You said Nebraska or Massachusetts, and I was like, what?
I thought I said New York. I'm sorry.
No, man.
Pardon me. Pardon me. Did not mean to slander your lovely state.
Dear Amy, this week I discovered my intelligent, hardworking, responsible 24-year-old daughter who lives with me is an adult, is a gun owner. And it's not a normal gun either.
Not a normal gun.
It's a 40 caliber semi-automatic.
Wait. How is that not a normal? Never mind.
And guess what, Tombstone?
That's like as most normcore as you can get.
She has hollow point bullets to go with
Not hollow points.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Are they hollow points?
They're super special hollow points.
Oh my gosh.
Amy, this is the kind of weapon that a criminal would possess. She says it's for emergencies. There have only been 2 home invasions in our neighborhood in the last 11 years.
Listen.
Only 2 home invasions in 11 years.
Everything I need to know about Amy Dickinson is the fact that she goes on NPR to do Wait, Don't Tell Me.
Oh, she does, doesn't she? That's her. That makes a lot of sense. I love my daughter. Oh, I'm sorry. I gave her 3 choices. She can either give up her weapon to me, sell it, or move out in 3 weeks. Wait. So giving the weapon to her father is an option?
I'm sorry. I missed. What was the thing about the home invasions?
Oh, there's only been 2 home invasions in our neighborhood in the last 11 years.
I mean, to be fair, that's not a ton.
That's too many.
It's enough.
Too many.
It's enough.
I've given her 3 choices. She can either give her weapon to me, sell it, or move out in 3 weeks. I love my daughter, and it would be sad for her to move into a place that she could hardly be able to afford. But now I have to lock my bedroom door at night because I don't know what she's going to do. Now she says I don't trust her and is barely speaking to me.
This is like a perverted sort of mysticism where you believe that just by picking up a weapon, your character changes. That's like voodoo. That's like magical thinking.
How can I stop her from endangering us? My word. Dear dumbfounded father. This is Amy responding.
Of course.
According to my research, possessing hollow point bullets is illegal in 11 states. And is it legal in your state to allow this sort of exploding ammunition? Okay, look, so I did some research, okay?
Hang on. Hang on. Let me guess.
Just Google.
There's not actually 11 points for hollow points.
Hold on.
States,
if you Google hollow point bullets, illegal states, okay?
Yeah.
Just Google that real quick and tell me what pops up. Tell me what pops up when you Google.
It's the
just read the top thing there. Hollow point bullets, illegal states. Because this is critical. Because we know where Amy Dickinson gets her information, and it is from the Google Foo machine, which is notoriously accurate on all levels.
Notoriously.
Do you have that up there?
At least it's not from what's the every town for guns.
Well, this is close enough because this is gun.laws.com. Do you have it up?
I have it up.
Do you want to read the top box that Google says is the most accurate answer?
No, it says there's 11 states that have barred the sale or possession of armor. Wait, what?
Yes, Tombstone. Yes.
Okay.
Yes, there are 11 states that bar the sale and possession of armor-piercing bullets.
For those of you following along at home, armor-piercing bullets are the opposite of hollow point bullets.
Hollow point bullets were purposefully designed to not, to balloon on impact so that it does not over-penetrate. Armor-piercing bullets, on the other hand, are intended to go through things like engine blocks, brick houses.
Armor-piercing bullets are, if you have to pick, safer to be shot with
Yes, they are.
So, okay, I'm actually very impressed you made that connection.
Okay.
'Cause I would not have punched that into the Google machine.
I had to, because I needed to fact check Amy Dickinson.
Fact checkers.
Who I am going to go out on a limb here and say is a blooming idiot. Shall we continue with the article?
Don't overstate it, Aaron.
Shall we continue with her article? Yes, we shall.
We shall.
In a report published in 2015, researchers from the University of Chicago found that 31% of households reported having a firearm in 2014. Now, remember, that's in addition to the other 20% that don't admit they have firearms in the house. Think about that one.
Mm-hmm.
If someone calls me on the phone doing research and they ask me if I have firearms in the house, what am I going to tell them? I'm going to tell them about the tragic canoe accident of 2018. I'm not going to answer that question. It's none of their business. Apparently, 48% said in 1980 that they had firearms in the house. According to this study, there are more guns. So let me read that again. According to the study, there are more guns, but they're concentrated in fewer households. Why must your household be one of them? Where did your daughter get this weapon and ammunition? Has she received any safety training or certification? Accidental death by gun is a substantial risk of owning a gun. No, it's not. No. Think about this. Tombstone.
Maybe not to you.
Tombstone. Getting killed in a car wreck is a substantial risk of owning a car.
Kind of.
It is. You cannot conflate the two things. There's no comparison to owning a gun and being like prone to death. If you own a car, you are prone to death.
Well, the only actual suicide by gun is an uptick for gun ownership.
But that is not an accidental gun death.
No.
But regardless of gun, so this is my problem with the stats, okay, Tombstone? My problem with the stats is that when it comes to gun deaths in the United States, suicides are added into the gun deaths. Mm-hmm. That is totally wrong and disingenuous. Why? Yeah. Because people will kill themselves regardless of whether they have a gun or not.
Yep.
And quite frankly, if they want to go out that way,
underage gang members are added into gun deaths as well.
Yes. And if you remove the city of Chicago, the city of New York City, and I believe the city of Miami, all of a sudden the gun deaths in the United States are incredibly low. But these three cities are hotbeds of crime and drug activity and illicit activity. Okay, continuing on with the story, I'm going to calm down, Tombstone. Is she perhaps engaged in another activity outside of your household that exposes her to increased risk and makes her believe she needs to have a weapon?
Drug dealing.
In other words, drug dealing. Maybe she works a corner. I don't know. Could be. I have news for you. A locked bedroom door is no match for this weaponry. Notice the hyperbole of wordage there. Weaponry.
Uh-huh.
As I write this, just 5 days ago, a father in South Carolina tragically shot and killed his own 23-year-old daughter through a closed door when he mistook her for an intruder. I agree with your ultimatum. I also weep that there is yet another likely unsafe gun owner in this country. The end. Sincerely, Amy Dickinson.
This bores me. Sorry, not you. I don't know. We have irreconcilable differences with this mode of thinking.
Remember, hollow points are illegal in 11 states.
Yes.
I mean, armor piercing.
Amy knows best.
Amy Dickinson. I'm tweeting her right now.
Oh, boy.
I'm tweeting her right now.
She's going to block you.
Bring it. Absolutely bring it. I'll tweet her after, but I got to bring it up on my Twitter because otherwise I'll forget. AskAmy.com. She's not even certified by Twitter. She's not even a real Twitter person.
She's not verified.
She's not even a real Twitter person. Okay.
Oh, good.
We'll be back. I've got nothing more to say, Tombstone. Tombstone, if we had all the proper licensing and everything,
we're an unlicensed radio station.
The intro to this segment would have been Justin Bieber's "Baby, Baby, Baby."
Oh. I think I heard that. I think I heard the first few bars of that one time 10 years ago.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I've never looked back.
Baby, baby, baby.
Justin Bieber is not a person that I would want to spend more than 20 seconds in the same room with, put it that way.
He grates on me. I think he might actually be turning his life around now.
That's why he asked to fight Tom Cruise in the Octagon.
He's married.
You want to reconsider that hot take, Aaron?
He's married. He's now, spending a lot of time with Joel Houston.
I know I'm going to regret asking this, but who did he end up marrying?
I don't know. I honestly think she was a nobody. Oh, now we got to look it up.
I feel like Justin Bieber is symptomatic of all 90s babies.
Haley Road Bieber.
Justin Bieber was born in 1994, and when I see a person born in 1994, I see Justin Bieber.
He was born in 94.
Is that wrong of me?
Okay, Haley Baldwin. She was born in 96. Oh, her dad is Stephen Baldwin.
I don't know who Stephen Baldwin is.
As in Alec Baldwin's brother?
Oh. So not a nobody. Not really.
No, not really nobody. Stephen Baldwin's an outspoken Republican, which is interesting. Very, very curious on that. He's played in a ton of stuff. A lot of movies. Anyways, fascinating. So Haley Baldwin. So that's curious. Did not know that. So yeah, this week. What in the world? What in the world, Justin Bieber?
What in the world? I don't know.
Justin Bieber on Twitter.
I resent
this episode.
That you're even making me engage with these Generation Z public social media stunts. This is the price I pay for being on an excellent show, but I want you to know that I'm keeping score.
This entire show is brought to you, via Twitter this week.
It's brought to you via my unrequited rage at Generation Z. That's what it is.
That too.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Bieber tweets out, "I want to challenge Tom Cruise to a fight in the Octagon. Tom, if you don't take this fight and you're scared, and don't take this fight and you're scared, and you will never live it down. Who is willing to put on the fight?"
I feel like this might have been alcohol related.
It could have been. Now, you remember Conor McGregor, right? The Conor McGregor Mayweather fight?
Yes.
Okay.
I don't remember who won.
Conor got whooped. Conor got whooped. It says if he retweets, if Tom Cruise is man enough to accept this challenge, McGregor Sports and Entertainment will host the bout. Does Cruise have the sprouts to fight like he does in the movies?
I really think
Stay
that
tuned.
Tom Cruise would take Justin Bieber apart.
I think it'd be so incredible to see.
I think if asked, Tom Cruise could actually kill and eat Justin Bieber.
Remember, the Bieb is 25. Cruise is 56.
Yes. I really think, like, if asked, Tom Cruise could actually hunt, kill, and eat Justin Bieber.
Oh, without a doubt. So since he did release that tweet, he has dropped the
Dropped what?
dropped the fight. Yes, he dropped the call out.
Unacceptable.
He then says he won't fight Tom Cruise. He's got that dad strength.
That sounds like a cop out.
That's just. It sounds like Bieber got scared.
I just don't understand.
It's so funny. So this was very interesting because McGregor apparently continued on with this, right?
Mm-hmm.
McGregor challenged Mark Wahlberg.
What?
Yes. Conor McGregor.
Is there some kind of celebrity metagame going on here that we don't know about?
I don't know, but this is amazing.
Is everybody bored in LA this week? I don't know.
I challenged Mark Wahlberg on the very same card. Back when Mark Wahlberg was Marky Mark, I'd still have slapped the ears off of him and took my UFC shares back.
Is Conor McGregor as much of a jerk as he seems to be?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, that's why he challenged Merriweather. I mean, he's yeah. I mean, yeah.
I don't know. The Irish.
So wait. Who won that fight?
Which fight?
Was it McGregor or Merriweather who won?
Dude, I don't know.
I watched the fight. I watched the fight. And was it even?
See, it was such a huge deal. See, this is the ephemeralness of life. We don't even remember. This is like the biggest fight. It was in 2017, and nobody even remembers who won.
Yeah, Mayweather. It's not Merriweather. It's Mayweather. Mayweather defeats McGregor in the 10th round by a knockout.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, that's what I thought.
He hung in there for 10 rounds.
But no, they smack talked each other for a long time.
Right.
But the thing with UFC is, it's like 2 minutes of super hard, super fast. And it's not like boxing. Boxing, man, is that long game,
right?
For the most part,
right.
And so,
you gotta be able to take the
as far as the show, man, that was a great show. I watched the entire fight the day after, when it hit YouTube, because I wasn't going to pay $30 for the fight,
right?
But I got up really early, so it wasn't spoiled, which is kind of awesome. And it was a good fight. I enjoyed it. Like it was solid.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know what's up with these call outs. So speaking of Twitter, Keanu Reeves has been hitting Twitter again.
Has he?
He has. Did I send you the article?
Himself or people talking about him?
People talking about him. People noticing something curious about him.
Oh, the hands thing?
The hands. Yeah, man.
Yeah. So I actually noticed this, I don't know, a couple years ago. This is actually before, I feel like it was before the Me Too thing. Maybe not.
Interesting. Yeah.
It might have been concurrent. I'm trying to remember.
So
there are apparently a lot of attractive young women that really want to get their picture taken with Keanu Reeves, and he does not put his hands on them,
including Dolly Parton.
He will, yeah, which I think is absolutely hilarious. So if you see a picture with Keanu Reeves, he will stand directly next to someone with their shoulders and arms touching, and his arm will be around the back, but his fingers will be out in the clear where you can see them every single time.
Yep. Which is
at least every single picture that's come across my feed.
Yes, it's very fascinating.
Can I tell you my honest to God thoughts about Keanu Reeves?
Yes, please. I was going to go there too.
He seems like I have not watched all his stuff. Like I've never seen Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure, which I know you.
Okay, hold on.
What? I haven't seen.
You have to. You have to.
Okay, I'll watch it.
It's a classic.
I've seen The Matrix. I don't think I've seen the second and third Matrix movie. I've seen the first one.
You should watch. You should watch them all. They're not as good as the first, but they're good.
I saw the Sniper movie he was in.
Oh, which one was that?
I think it was Sniper 2 or Sniper 1. It may have just been called Sniper.
Okay.
Hang on, I'll tell you.
Yeah, I'm super curious.
It really was not a great movie. I enjoyed it, but I have.
So his
acting
is super weird, right? Like he's very often like typecasted.
He's not a great actor. He's just not. I think he was good in The Matrix, but The Matrix was not a very emotional. It was like he doesn't have a lot of emotional range.
Did you see John Wick?
Yeah, well, I saw the third one. I haven't seen the first one.
Okay. You need to see the first one.
I'll go watch
the first one sets the stage. Like I had to order them all because I rented the first one, and I'm pretty sure it's coming this week on. From my Amazon.
What I was gonna say is I don't think he's a great actor, which is fine. I respect that he has stayed in the game. He hasn't quit. He's kept working, and he seems to be a nice person. So I think he deserves what he's getting.
He's just a good guy. So I think it was until he did The Matrix, he lived in like $100,000 house, like super down to earth dude. And part of the reasons why he moved was security, and like just a completely normal dude. And I think that's what I like about him. I've watched a couple different movies with him in it. Like there's always Netflix is amazing at delivering you like the B movies, C movies, D movies. And there's several of him in there. And it's just a solid, he's just, I don't know. I think you're right. I think he's just stood the test of time. Not exactly that crazy, amazing, like type A actor, but he's just there.
He's not a Robert Downey Jr.
Well, not many people can bounce back from spending months in jail to
right
to being
but he's
Iron
also,
Man.
Like I said, he's also hung in there. Like he hasn't flamed out. He's just been plugging away, doing his thing. I really respect that.
Okay, so did you? Oh, you haven't seen the Marvel movies? Never mind. I'm not even talking about this
I've
with
seen,
you.
What? Which one? Are
like
you thinking
Doctor
about?
Strange?
Haven't seen Doctor
No,
Strange.
of course you haven't. Of course you haven't.
I know. I promised I would go watch it.
Now the audience may appreciate this. I think he would have made an amazing Doctor Strange.
Mm-hmm.
I think he would have fit the bill. Cumberbatch or whatever his name is, Cumberbatch, or I don't even know what his name
Benedict
is.
Cumberbatch.
Benedict Cumberbatch.
The most English name ever conceived in the history of names.
It truly is. I'm just waiting for him to become a traitor.
Okay. Tell me if I'm crazy. I was sure that Keanu Reeves was in a movie called Sniper, and I cannot find it. Am I crazy?
You must be if it's not showing up on there, because I don't know.
47 Ronin. I watched 47
that.
Ronin. Actually.
I remember that.
I watched that in the theater. I don't remember anything about it, but I did watch it.
See, that's the thing. It's like,
man,
Keanu Reeves is not like memorable. He's not like, oh, Keanu Reeves. It's just like, oh, it's that cool actor dude who's, amazing and does 90% of his own stunts and actually does all of his own firearm manipulation. Have you seen him run the 3-gun courses?
I've seen them, yes.
I would not want to be against him, man. He's amazing. I'm typing his name wrong.
I am really confused now.
Yeah, he's weird though. I think he's a vegan. He'd really get into the soy burgers. But whatever. It's one of those things. I think he's like kind of Buddhist or something, or he's a spiritualist. He doesn't like prescribe to a religion.
Mm-hmm.
Just a weird dude. If you look at his stuff on Wikipedia, he's just fascinating. His mother is he's a British. He's Canadian citizenship, but he's British, I guess, as well, because he has an English mother. Grew up in Canada. It's the only bad thing about Keanu Reeves is that he's Canadian. Biological father was American, but he wasn't able to get automatic citizenship.
Okay, I must be crazy because he was in one of the sniper movies with Tom Berenger, and he was not in any of them. So I have no idea what I'm thinking about.
Yeah, I don't know, Tombstone. It must have been some other movie with him shooting things.
I'm experiencing the Mandela effect of some kind.
But anyways, fascinating guy. I kind of like him. He's odd, but yeah, check him out.
Oh, we're all odd.
We are, in our own quirky little ways.
Some more than others.
My brother was cleaning out the stalls out there for Troy, working for him. And they called, want me to come around there. Well, when I get there, I realized that they're already drunk. One thing led to another, and before I noted, there was knives, guns, everything just went haywire. They cut my beard and forced me to eat it.
Sounds like some of your neighbors there down in South Carolina, buddy.
You're hilarious.
Actually, honestly, that sounded more like Kentucky or Alabama. Just saying. That was very, or maybe even Ohio, Appalachia region, West Virginia. Mm-hmm. That was, that's the area.
Well, you should definitely continue to enjoy your speculation.
I'm a world traveler. I'm a world traveler, Tombstone.
But while you're trying to figure that out, we need to talk about tanker ships in the Gulf. Almost like Gulf of Mexico. That would be a different. Persian Gulf.
I am so confused on this. So I heard the news article. I was so busy this week. I really wasn't paying that much attention to that side of the world.
Give me a second. I will outline it for you.
Yeah, please do.
I will outline what definitely happened, what appears to have happened, and what people are saying might have happened if they don't agree with the official story.
So this is what I heard.
Yep.
I heard it was probably Tuesday or Wednesday. I heard a tanker, an oil tanker was hit by a torpedo in the Strait of Hormuz.
The torpedo thing has been going around, but so I don't know if that was a mistranslation from Japanese or something else. So torpedo, in olden times, a torpedo was a floating water mine.
Okay.
So, but it does not appear that a submarine or a torpedo boat torpedo is not what was involved here.
Okay, so that makes sense.
Nobody appears to be saying
and that. Then like Friday, I'm looking into it a little bit more, and I see
that's dangerous.
Someone, and it was such a brief look at this. Someone was removing a mine from the side of a ship.
Yeah.
But yet it still blew up?
No.
Okay. Tell me the facts, Tombstone.
Okay.
Hold on. Oh, I can't do my Walter Cronkite anymore. I was going to say, I want the facts. Nothing but the facts, Tombstone.
Okay. Let me say this. I think part of what the problem with the story is that the Iranians have actually been damaging ships for over a month in the Gulf, and the American media has refused to report on it. You may remember there was a story a couple weeks ago about some ships that experienced rudder problems from sabotage. Nobody ever really followed up on that. It just it was like in the news for a grand total of like 3 hours, then it went away. Do you remember that or not?
So what I do remember is like a month ago. It
was 2 weeks or a month ago.
It wasn't related to the story, but a month ago we heard the war drums beating. Trump was like, Iran's up to hinky business. They're loading stuff on ships. Mm-hmm. We don't know what they're doing. And John Bolton's like, invasion. Is that a good John Bolton voice? I think it's a good John Bolton voice.
I have no idea what John Bolton says.
We need to invade. That's going to be my John Bolton voice from now on.
I saw a hilarious cartoon today. Yesterday. It was John Bolton, and he was drawn with his face with his mustache very exaggerated, and his mustache spelled war. Which I thought was amazing.
My mustache spells war.
Anyways, so here, let me tell you what appears to have happened, and then we can talk about whether that's actually what happened. So
I need, as I said, I need the facts, Tombstone. Just the facts.
All right. Don't just stop.
I'm in a mood, Tombstone. I haven't had breakfast.
I can tell. We both need to get breakfast. So the ships, at least one of these ships, was hit by mines that were placed above the water line or something. Whatever it was above the water line.
So people actually somehow affixed something to these ships.
Correct.
Whether it be in port or whether it be.
So here's the two facts of conflicting information that everybody's duking out right now.
Okay.
Number one, there is video from United States P-3 Orion, which is a reconnaissance aircraft.
All right.
That carries long-range cameras. There's a video of them, an Iranian, what they call a fast boat, pulling up to the ship after it had been hit and detaching what appears to be unexploded ordnance.
Interesting.
Okay. And from what I understand, the way these ships work is the standoff distance is far enough that they might not have even seen the airplane that was filming them. So it's not like basically everybody, honestly, especially the dissident right, everybody's trying to figure out if it's a false flag attack by Israel or whoever, or if it actually happened the way it appears to have happened. Does that make sense? Hang on, I'm trying to find something that I posted yesterday. You know who Matt Bracken is?
I am remotely.
He's kind of like in the Alex Jones sphere. All right, so this is what Matt Bracken posted on Facebook. He's a former Navy SEAL. He's kind of, I don't know if kooky is the right word, but he's kind of out there. Anyways, he said this, but he's a former Navy SEAL. He does have experience in these matters. He says, number one, it's an Iranian RIB, which is their boat. Case closed, unless you think it was aliens pulling a false flag. RIBs like that are built in known places to known specs, are filmed, and are as good as a fingerprint of DNA. If you think SEALs or the CIA faked a counterfeit Iranian RIB, you need a drug tox or check those Nazi UFO sites again. Number two, every limpet mine ever made has non-removable devices built in so that if anybody tries to pry it off without going through a complex series of steps that are known only to the maker and the frogmen, then there's an explosion. If the limpet removers, the limpet mine being the magnetic mine that was stuck to the side of the ship, if the limpet removers were not part of the same gang as the limpet planters, it would have been one expendable guy in a 4-meter skiff trying to get it off. Everybody else would have been 500 meters back. Number three, at the range that grainy video was shot, talking about from the airplane, the USN Seahawk Hello, I guess it was a Seahawk, not a P-3, pardon me. The USN Seahawk Hello would have not been in visual or audible range of the limpet mine removers. They did not know they were being filmed. They figured it was worth it to remove the 100% guilty evidence, which was the Iranian limpet mine. So the idea is basically that they planted a series of mines on the ship. They didn't all go off. Because they didn't all go off, they had to retrieve the one that didn't go off, so they weren't implicated. They didn't think they would get caught taking it back, but they did get caught by the United States Navy. That's basically what it amounts to. So it looks like one or two of the 4 planted mines on the 2 anchored ships worked 100%. That is, they breached both the inner and outer hull. They started a flow of oil through the air into the water, ignited the fumes, and started a massive fire. That was the goal, and it's not easy. So
these ships didn't sink, right?
They did not sink. They experienced fires and oil leakage. So here's the hang up. So the problem is there's 2 problems. One of the captain of the Japanese ship said does not think they were approached by boats, but I think it's entirely possible that he wouldn't know. But the conspiracy sphere is saying that that's basically it was a missile or something like. He said something about a flying object. I have to track down the exact quote, but I don't know if it exists in
I
English
saw that too.
Japanese.
Yeah,
but I don't know. It's entirely possible he did see something flying. It's entirely possible. I think it's extremely possible to get a couple of mines on a ship like that without them noticing. I mean, that's what those guys trained to do. That's what the Iranians trained to do. So there's a lot of mitigating factors involved in situational awareness on a ship like that.
So what,
in terms of getting up close to
what's going to be our response?
Well, that's really the other half of this equation is, honestly, Aaron, it does not matter a single lick whether or not the Iranians actually mined that ship. Practically speaking, the only thing that matters is that a huge number of people in this country no longer trust their government to tell the truth to them about what other foreign powers are doing in terms of aggression. So that's a good point. So very few people believe Mike Pompeo when he goes out and says the Iranians definitely did it. Nobody wants to believe Mike Pompeo because they suspect that Mike Pompeo and John Bolton and Donald Trump are setting the stage for a ground invasion of Iran, which nobody wants.
looks like what they are trying to do.
I really hope not. So
war, Tombstone, war.
It's sad. It's sad because, I think the Iranians, I don't know. I think they're bad. They're bad news.
Oh, without a doubt.
I also think that we're incredibly overstretched and our credibility is very thin.
That's a good point.
So I guess what I'm saying is we're in a situation of our own making from a foreign policy perspective where we don't have a lot of bandwidth to deal with stuff like this.
I don't think the nation has the stomach. Tombstone, we've talked about this on the show before. We have been at war since basically we were born. since well before then. I think 80-90% of our lives we have been at war.
Yeah,
that's
a lot.
That's scary, man. That's just not right. And so you hear people on the left talking about the military-industrial complex, right? And I've gotta be honest. They may have a point when they're saying stuff like that.
It's a thing.
It is. And when you've got people like John Bolton, who is, I'm telling you,
your homework for this week is to go listen to John Bolton, so you know how to
try to improve my John Bolton voice.
Yes.
Okay, I'll work on that. Whenever we talk about war, I'll come to you with the John Bolton voice.
I'm getting ready to turn you off.
I would too, Tombstone. You don't think anything will come of this? You think we'll just kind of let it lie?
I honestly have no idea. I'm not sure why the Iranians are doing what they're doing. The Iranian posturing does not seem to make a whole lot of sense.
More proxy war?
I think they did. What's that?
Another proxy war like we're doing in Yemen?
There's no proxy. There's no proxy. It's just us and Iran.
Yeah, which is kind of weird. I mean,
yeah, it doesn't make a lot of sense to me, but I also don't pretend to have all the answers. So I'm not a kind of person that will look at a situation and say, obviously the Iranians couldn't do this because they don't know what they're doing. They would never do that. The Iranians have done a lot of stuff. The Iranians are a persistent thorn in everybody's flesh.
Anyone remember
have been for 30, 40 years?
Anyone remember the USS Cole? I mean, that was
the Cole
theorized to be Iranian influence.
If you look at different organizations, especially in Palestine in the last 30, 40 years, you'll find Iran has been very, very, very active in terms of feeding weapons and
without a doubt. And I guess that's where I'm saying proxy war. I mean, you could easily have Netanyahu turn Iran to glass, and
I mean, he has the capability.
He has the capability.
They don't have the bandwidth either.
You don't think they've got the capacity to do that?
They could if they were pushed, but I don't think they would be. I think a lot of people would be very unhappy with them.
I think so.
I think Israel's already extremely disliked by the Eurozone.
So here's a question for you. I think this played out in Afghanistan and in Iraq as well.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think the majority of the people in those countries actually care about the U.S.
I don't know. I don't know. Probably not to the extent that we fear.
Yeah, I just don't think they care. I think it's more of a they exist. Yeah. They're very tribal countries. They care more about what's going on inside their country and inside their tribes than they care about the government.
Right.
I mean, there's a reason why there's quote unquote lawless tribes all over the place in these countries, because they don't care about governments.
Yeah.
But you've got these warlords who I think have taken control and are in charge of stuff, and I think they're the ones that hate America because they're attempting to rally the troops around this hatred.
That's America. America hate has definitely been a tool of the mullahs, but I don't know. It's hard to say. Like you had these nascent protests and revolutionary type activity in Iran a year ago, and nothing ever really came of it. It seems to have gone away.
Right.
President Trump said, "We support you." So, everybody. Some people were saying that we were going to support a revolution, but that it never came. So,
have you seen pictures of Iran from the 70s?
I've seen some pictures. I don't think it was the quasi-Western paradise people like to think it was. I think Iran has always been very traditional.
Fascinating, man.
Yeah, there's some pictures. There's some pictures, similar pictures from Afghanistan in the same time frame. But I would not mistake those for the universal reality in the country. I think Iran has always been a very conservative place dominated by conservative Islam. Same for Turkey. Istanbul, not as much, but the rest of the country is much more traditional. So I don't know. It's complex.
It's an interesting thought. I know people who have been there, who went there back in the 70s, world travelers, and they seem to suggest, and that could just be the areas that they went to, the city areas that were very westernized.
Right.
And I've always been curious about that because.
Yeah, I mean, Istanbul is kind of the same way now. But Istanbul is a very large city in a very large country, if that makes sense.
It is true. So I want to pivot real quick. I know this is
one more thing. Like if you look at Erdogan's base of power is not in Istanbul. Istanbul is actually more of a problem for him.
Interesting.
His base of power is all the rural areas.
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense.
Anyways,
very similar to Trump in that aspect.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I have heard the two compared. Yes.
And I'm not comparing. A crazed lunatic from
I know what you mean.
Turkey to Donald Trump, who is a crazed lunatic from the Bronx.
Oh God. Anyways, yes.
No. So this conversation brought to mind Cuba, right? We have ceased travel to Cuba now. Cuban travel by Americans has been banned again.
I'm pretty annoyed. I'm pretty annoyed by that, to be honest.
Tombstone.
I have to reflect on my previous positions. When Obama opened it up, I was annoyed, but I was mostly annoyed that he went down there and gave the Castros a big wet kiss in the process.
Yes, that was my issue.
I don't think I really have a problem with Americans going to Cuba at all. And I think this is a bad move for Trump because it's kind of capricious and does not seem to be well thought out. Was there anything in particular that precipitated it?
No, it was just ooh, it's Cuba. No, bad Cuba.
Yeah, I think that
it makes me sad because the people I talked to in Cuba loved Americans.
Right.
Because over the last couple of years, private business has become more and more commonplace in Cuba, and it's because of tourism.
Right.
Tourism is the only way these people are surviving.
Yeah.
Because before that, I told you the story of the cigar factory, right? Where the truck pulled up with the meat and just threw it.
Yep.
Just threw it in there for the people.
Yep.
And they had to process it and freeze it. And it's like, it's totally unsustainable because it could be 4 months, 6 months before more pigs show up.
Right.
And they may have lunch for the next 3 months, but they might not have it after that.
Yeah.
And
I understand.
It's that private enterprise that is growing the country and is helping them.
Yep.
And it's unfortunate they've got a crazed dictator as their or El Presidente as their leader. But I'm telling you, capitalism, man, it's the only thing that was giving those people hope. Capitalism and U.S. bringing in lots and lots of money. There's a lot of foreign travel there from other countries, but the U.S. cruise ships showing up in Havana and over in Santiago. Is it Santiago? It was a huge amount of money, man. And these people just they loved us so much. Like our tour guide.
Are you sure they loved you or they loved your money?
No. As I said on the episode where I talked about our Cuban adventures, our tour guide was like, you can say anything on the bus. Anything goes on the bus. I will tell you anything you want.
Mm-hmm.
I will explain to you the real situation of the country. But once we're off the bus, I can't.
Yeah.
And he was very open. He had a mother on Cuba. That's the reason why he stayed. His siblings had since escaped. He had a sister in Cuba and I think a brother in Spain. And yeah, I mean, man, those people, man. Honestly, like, of all the I've been to a lot of places in the islands, right?
Yeah.
And the most genuine people that I met were the Cubans. A couple other places that really hit home with me, Dominica being one of them. They're a very Americanized island, but yet still steeped in their Caribbean culture. But it's just weird, man. I don't even know how to explain it.
Well, hopefully someday soon it'll open back up and we'll be able to.
I hope so.
Maybe we could take a joint.
I really
trip.
hope so. Be fun. Front
Cuban
porch
sandwiches.
Front porch show to Cuba. So I don't actually think they have Cuban sandwiches there. By the way, that's a Miami creation
because they don't have any pork.
That sounds so good though right now. I'm so hungry.
I'm gonna have to go find some for lunch now.
Tombstone, is there anything we need to cover on the way out?
That's all I have, my friend.
I can't think of anything. I think we're good.
Take us out.
We'll see you next week, folks. Thank you for listening. If you want more of the Front Porch Show, check us out on the web, www.thefrontporchshow.com, facebook.com/myfrontporch or something like that. I don't know what it is. Doesn't matter. You'll find it somewhere. We'll catch you later, guys. Bye-bye.